Most of my journey whenever I started a YouTube channel was always based on outside factors and outside opinions, aka I never listened to my intuition. Welcome to Notes from Your Bestie. You are now in the bestie environment where we're about to get real up in here and keep it real and share, well, for today, some of my downfalls. I want to give a different take on it now that I'm a super small channel, right? I want to give a different perspective on it since I'm still small. Share my journey and share with you guys what I believe everyone should be doing when they're starting a YouTube channel. Because believe me, I've tried a few different ways. Let me share. But I want to share what I did differently this time, with the third time being the charm. I had many goals at different types of YouTube channels. Jeez, let me know in the comments if this is you as well, because I definitely have to know that I'm not alone in this. If you're gonna do anything, if you're starting a YouTube channel, is listen to your intuition. The first channel I ever did, which I should have probably not done, is I created a channel around my first ever business. You could go back to a previous video where I talk a little bit about my journey and how I started my first business. And basically I created this channel around e-commerce, dropshipping on Amazon, and I would say that I was very unhappy doing it. What was happening was, at the time, I knew I wanted to transition out of doing dropshipping for Amazon. I wanted to do a new business that was more aligned with my purpose, because at the time when I started that business, it served a purpose, right, for that season. But then I was starting to grow out of the season, and the problem I had at the time was that I hired a coach to make even more money to help me figure out what else I can do, and then I would always get boxed in because my experience was stuck in e-commerce. The funny part about this channel was that I wasn't even trying hard, and it was a small channel, and I was already getting inquiries. People were inquiring about courses and all that stuff, and that's why, by the way, you should be starting from the beginning. You should be starting to ask for opt-ins and start selling your course from the beginning, by the way, if you know exactly what you're going to sell. Here's the thing, I didn't love it. I was very dissatisfied, so I decided to end doing it, and I could tell you that coach was very disappointed because there was a lot of potential in it, but it was not for me, even though I knew deep down that I wanted some type of YouTube channel. I like being on video. So the second time I officially launched another YouTube video, I ended up buying a YouTube course this time, because I guess I was on that quest, you know, like I wanted to get it right. I wanted to learn everything from A to Z, you know, do it all perfectly. And this time grow it properly, since, you know, I ended previous channels. And also, this was a habit from me always having business coaches to help me in every area of my business in life. And to be clear, the course that I was doing, nothing was wrong with it. It was actually an awesome course where it taught you how to audit channels, see what topics are working and not working, and then copy them. But here was the issue that no one talks about. You see, and I've seen a lot of other videos do that, and no shade if it works for you, but everyone tells you, oh, go on that channel, look at what you're doing, and then create a video of your own that's similar to it, especially if it blew up on YouTube, and then replicate it so it can then blow up for you as well. Essentially, you're creating videos that are working already. What's the point of the video blowing up and you still being happy and you can't be yourself and doing a topic that was based on someone's intuition-led idea that they got that didn't really come from your heart? And I did find my niche, you know? I was like, okay, we're gonna do the side hustle niche and only talk about business, because I love business. But what I quickly figured out is that when I was replicating other people, and by the way, I'm not saying like I was copying a video or anything like that, but like in general, just like taking a topic, spinning it, and, you know, doing your thing, it just felt 10 times harder. And I remember being even more frustrated, because you know why? You can't copy someone else's success and someone else's footstep. You see, when someone starts their channel, they're walking on their own journey. They found their journey. So if you're trying to walk in someone else's journey that they walk through, it's gonna be extra hard because it's not your own God-given journey. I noticed this one thing one day, and I think that's when I had the biggest revelation. Everything just made sense. The people who were very successful weren't following the typical SEO. What I noticed is they were making videos just based on their intuition. And you could tell because the title was different. They were coming out with videos that other people weren't coming out with. They just talked about the very things that they wanted to talk about, and it just blew up. They just attracted the people who resonated with them. When God gives you a desire and you have something that you feel like you want to put out to the world, you don't have to be like anyone else. You don't have to try any of the typical tactics, nor do you have to follow any of the typical playbook things that would work on YouTube. Because God will bring the right people to you who connects with your message. And it's a win-win because you're walking in your exact desires and gifts that you have, and you're putting them to use. And then you get to shine as you should because you're walking in your own authentic self. Like nothing beats that. Nothing beats you being unique and just being yourself because no one can be like you. And God will make you shine when He wants you to shine. Point blank, He doesn't need your help. If you have an idea, all you have to start doing is just taking action on it. Doing what you know. And eventually everything will just start to flow. But that happens once you listen to yourself. This took me a few years to learn. And I think starting YouTube channels over and over again was one of the biggest learning ways to understand this, because when I did it, it was all for the wrong reasons and the wrong intentions. And now that I started my third channel, I'm starting it with better intentions. I'm starting it on the main purpose of me being myself, my authentic self, and I'm sharing what I know, all my experiences, telling stories the way I want to tell it. I'm not telling it in a perfect format. I'm just being myself and using my personality to shine. So how this channel came to be was God gave me this idea of notes from your bestie on the altar at church. This time though, it was a little different. I promised myself that I was only going to be myself. I was not going to pressure myself when it came to this YouTube channel, and I was just going to let it flow. And I gave myself a goal, an amount of videos that I was going to do per month, where this time I said, I'm only going to do 2 per month. I know everyone says, oh, do once a week. I was like, I'm just gonna do 2 per month, get committed, and see how it goes, and make sure I'm enjoying the process. And all I wanted to be was vulnerable, real, and not be ashamed of any of the topics that I talk about, and not be ashamed of sharing my woes and my win. Because I realized that every time I started a channel in the past, it was either based on the wrong topic or it was based on intuition. Like, it just never dawned on me to just do it based on what I want to do. It was always based on what everyone said, what everyone else said was the right way to do it. But never thought of just being myself and doing the way that Nakia should do it. So every video you're getting is intuition based. That's it. As soon as I get an idea, I write it down in my notes and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be the next video. And it feels good to just be myself, share my everyday stories, life lessons, teach what I gotta teach, inspire, whatever that is, the list can go on. And not be following a play-by-play playbook. If you watch one of the videos I did about being high on rent and my transformation, you'll quickly realize that a lot of the breakthroughs are never deemed normal in the eyes of society as the right answer. Never in a million years I thought I was going to be sharing my challenges. If you want things to start working for you, the best thing you could ever do is listen to your intuition, be yourself, and do the very ideas in your mind, even if it doesn't make sense. Even if no one else is doing it, those are the best ideas. Nothing beats your own ideas that comes from here. Nothing beats God-given ideas, intuition ideas. And when you get your ideas, do not filter it. Do not question it. Unless it's some weird, really weird idea where you're like, this seems kind of wrong. You know what I mean? But most time, there are awesome ideas that needs to be put out to the world. I wasted so much time trying to do it like everyone else. I wasted so much time thinking that I needed to get advice from people and I needed to do it the way everyone else was doing it. Not realizing that the very thing I need to do was just listen to myself. I went through so much depression, anxiety, doing the wrong things, trying to do things just because everyone else said to do it. And that thing sucked me dry. It sucked the life out of me. Just because something works for someone else, it doesn't mean that it's gonna work for you. And I believe a lot of the frustration is because people are focusing so much on what other people are doing, and then they try to do for themselves because they're like, well, it worked for Sally. But really what you have to do is see what works for you. That's what you have to focus on. And just do that. Do the ideas and trust yourself enough to do your own ideas. I know my channel is small for now, but I just wanted to share with you my journey so you know that you're not alone and that it's absolutely okay to just do it based on your intuition and do it based on your own ideas and see what happens and test yourself.